Hello, my name is Jennifer Coit. This is my case study, the IEP for Jordan. Section 1 is a student profile. Jordan is a 7-year-old second grader. His primary language is English. The family preferred communication method is an email, in-person, and phone contact. Cultural and home considerations is Jordan lives with his mother, his stepfather, and his half-sibling, his sister. Jordan does not see his biological father. The primary delay is academic progress and social development, struggling with reading fluency and written expression. The learning preference is hands-on learning, does not like to read in school or at home. Section 2 is developmental assessment. Assessment of strengths. Jordan demonstrates a high level of intrinsic motivation and sustained attention when engaging in independent construction-based play. He shows a natural aptitude for spatial reasoning and takes visible pride in building and engineering physical objects. While he currently finds joy in the success of self-directed tasks, his literacy-based frustrations often prevent him from transitioning these strengths into collaborative peer groups. Utilizing his interest in building as a bridge could help increase his confidence during social interactions and group projects. Areas of need. Jordan demonstrates significant deficits in reading fluency and written expression when adversely impact his academic confidence. These challenges often manifest as a reluctance to engage in classroom discussions or provide verbal responses. Beyond the classroom, Jordan's academic insecurities appear to affect his socio-emotional development. He frequently self-isolates during non-structured times, such as recess, and avoids group-based peer interactions. When faced with these challenges, Jordan exhibits visible signs of frustration, including restlessness and task avoidance. Discussing strengths and needs in the emotional area, Jordan is engaged and curious learner whose academic progress is currently impeded by significant challenges in reading and writing. His desires to explore new concepts is frequently met with frustrations due to these process barriers, which subsequently impact his self-confidence and willingness to collaborate with peers. His needs. Jordan's academic difficulties in reading and writing have led to an increase in social anxiety and decreased self-esteem. This is most evident during peer-led activities and recess, when he hesitates to participate or socialize. These feelings of insecurity often result in observable frustration, restlessness, and a hesitant to approach to new and challenging tasks. On the cognitive and academic side, Jordan's strengths. Jordan is an inquisitive learner who demonstrates a high level of engagement in subjects that allow for kinetics and inquiry-based exploration. He shows a particular aptitude for science and thrives during hands-on activities, such as engineering or building tasks. While Jordan possesses a strong conceptual understanding of these topics, his progress is often hindered by his challenges in reading fluency and written expression. This creates a significant gap between his ability to grasp concepts, complex scientific ideas, and his ability to document or read them, leading to visible frustration and a reluctance to participate in group-based social and academic settings. Areas of need. Despite his intellectual curiosity, Jordan faces significant processing barriers in reading fluency and written expression. These deficits create a notable discrepancy between his ability to understand complex concepts and his ability to demonstrate that knowledge through traditional literacy-based outputs. Reading fluency, Jordan struggles with the speed and accuracy of decoding, which impacts his overall comprehension of grade-level text. Written expression, he experiences difficulty translating his thoughts into organized written form, which leads to task avoidance. Section 3 is the plan for intervention. Jordan's social long-term goals are when presented with academic or social tasks, Jordan will increase his self-advocacy and social participation from a baseline of reluctance and self-isolation to active engagement in 4 out of 5 observed opportunities. The measurable objective will be objective 1, in-class participation. Given a familiar academic topic such as science, Jordan will independently volunteer to answer questions during a whole group or small group discussion in 3 out of 5 opportunities. Objective number 2, during structured group activities involving hands-on components such as building or modeling, Jordan will assume a specific role: leader, builder, helper, or manager of materials, and communicate more to complete the task. Objective number 3, the social interaction. During non-structured times, such as recess or lunch, Jordan will transition from independent play to a collaborative activity with at least 2 peers. Objective 4, self-advocacy. Jordan will utilize a signal or a check-in system with his teacher to express when he is frustrated or needs a break rather than withdraw from exhibiting restlessness. The goal is to eliminate feelings of ostracization and rejection. The school team will facilitate opportunities for Jordan to inform at least 2 meaningful peer connections. The strategy is that the teacher will encourage Jordan to interact with others, and the purpose is for these connections often help a child with confidence and socialization. The emotional long-term goals. Jordan will develop resilience and self-regulation skills to navigate academic frustrations and social anxieties. He will increase his willingness to attempt challenges, tasks, and share work in progress thoughts, transitioning from a baseline of withdrawal to active, supported participation in 80% of opportunities. Jordan will use positive words to describe himself to encourage an ongoing success. Measurable objectives. Objective 1, normalizing the learning process. Given a supportive classroom environment, Jordan will participate 3 out of 5 discussions per day using the Safe to Try framework to provide the teacher with feedback. Objective 2, emotional identification. When experiencing frustration or stuck moments in reading and writing, Jordan will use a self-advocacy tool such as the feeling thermometer or a private desk signal to identify his emotions to a trusted adult before it escalates to restlessness. A feelings thermometer is sometimes called the emotions thermometer. It is a visual tool used to help children identify, measure, and communicate the intensity of their emotions. Objective 3, coping strategies and applications. When faced with a challenging test, Jordan will independently select and use a calming strategy like a break, breathing deeply, or a positive self-talk phrase to remain calm and return to the task. Objective 4, safe social integration. Jordan will participate in 1 low-stake group activity per day where the goal is collaborative trial and error rather than a grade of correct or final product. For long-term cognitive and academic is to reduce cognitive overload and build confidence. Jordan will focus on mastering 1 new core concept per lesson in his struggling areas, which are reading and writing. The implementation, Jordan will first practice this concept within a small group setting, 3 to 4 peers. This low-pressure environment allows him to explain his understanding verbally before being asked to produce written work. Peer-to-peer modeling. By working in small groups, Jordan will have access to student-led strategies, allowing him to learn from his classmates in a way that feels less formal and more accessible than an adult-led instruction. Reading fluency and growth targets. Jordan will increase his reading fluency and word recognition by a target of 10% monthly based on his individual baseline. Evaluation. Progress will be monitored through monthly informal assessments and formal reevaluations during the mid-year reporting to ensure the pace is sustainable and his confidence remains high. Section 3, Plan for Intervention Short Term. For social evidence Base intervention strategies. Goal 1 is to peer interaction through strength-based play. The goal: within 2 months during recess or choice time, Jordan will engage in a collaborative building activity such as Legos, blocks, or science kits with 2 consistent peers for at least 10 minutes. The strategy: the teacher will pair Jordan with students who share his interest in science or building. This reduces the chances of rejection anxiety because they are more focused on the project and not just the conversation. Goal 2, normalizing not knowing. The goal: within 3 months, Jordan will provide a verbal response to teachers' questions in a small group setting at least twice per week, regardless of whether the answer is correct. The strategy is that the teacher will praise the efforts for sharing even if the question is not correct. This targets his fear of being wrong and builds his identity as a contributor. Goal 3, self-advocacy and emotional regulation. The goal: within 1 month, Jordan will use nonverbal signals like the feeling thermometer or a desk card to indicate to the teachers when he feels restless or frustrated because he's reached the point of withdrawal. The strategy: this allows Jordan to ask for a 2-minute building break without having to speak in front of the class, giving him a healthy way to overcome obstacles. Goal 4, one new thing explanation. The goal: by end of month 3, after a science or hands-on lesson, Jordan will verbally explain one new concept he's learned to a peer or a teacher using the model he's built. The strategy: this allows him to show what he knows through his hands-on, boosting his confidence and providing expertise in his favorite subject. Family partnership. The core objective is to foster an environment of active communication where Jordan feels empowered to identify his own needs and celebrate his social risk. Home-based social scaffolding. The active daily debriefs. Parents will engage in daily open-ended conversations with Jordan regarding his school day. These sessions will focus on self-reporting, asking Jordan to identify what he felt as manageable and where he felt stuck, to help him build the vocabulary for self-advocacy. The 3 participation challenge. Parents will encourage a daily goal of 3 active participations: asking a question, sharing a thought, or joining a group. The emphasis will be on the act of participation rather than the accuracy of the answers, normalizing the trial and error as a standard part of learning. Social enthusiasm and peer advocacy. Parents will actively promote and celebrate peer-to-peer interactions by showing high levels of interest in the student Jordan mentions. Parents help reduce his fear of social rejection and reinforce the values of making connections. Normalizing communications. The differences. Parents will provide a supportive narrative that communication is fluid. They will reinforce the sounding different or working at a different pace is acceptable, focusing instead on importance of clear expression and the one new thing mastering each day. The emotional goals for self-based evidence strategies. Goal 1, identifying the frustration spark. The goal: within 1 month, when feeling overwhelmed by reading or writing tasks, Jordan will use a visual tool like the feelings thermometer to identify his frustration level to the teacher before exhibiting restless behavior in 4 out of 5 opportunities. This helps Jordan catch the emotion while it is still small, preventing the boil over feeling that leads to him withdrawing from his friends. Goal 2, normalizing the academic risk. The goal: within 2 months, Jordan will participate in a safe-to-fail activity twice a week where he purposely shares an in-progress thought or an unverified answer in a group to practice the comfort of not knowing. This builds the emotional muscles needed to realize that an incorrect answer is just a data point for his teacher, not a reflection of his intelligence. Goal 3, independent recovery, overcoming the obstacles. The goal is within 3 months after identifying a level 4 frustration, Jordan will independently select one pre-approved regulation strategy: a minute to breathe, or a heavy work task, and successfully return to the original task for at least 5 minutes. This provides Jordan the frustration is temporary and that he has the power to overcome it, which is a massive confidence booster. The family's partnership. Core objectives: to provide a consistent low pressure environment that validates Jordan's frustration while celebrating his increment 10% growth wins. Home based emotional scaffolding, normalizing the learning curve. Parents will actively model the growth mindset by sharing their own mistakes and challenges. This reinforces the idea that not knowing is a temporary state in the natural part of the scientific process Jordan loves. The safe to fail zone. Homework sessions will be framed as practice labs. If Jordan reaches a level 4 on his feeling thermometer, parents will implement the tactical reset, the 5 to 10 minutes of building or physical movement, to help him regulate his nervous system before re-engaging. Validation of efforts over accuracy. To combat feelings of rejection and ostracizations, parents will provide praising Jordan's persistence and bravery in attempting difficult reading and writing tasks, rather than focusing solely on the correctness of the work. Strength-based identification buildings. Parents will ensure Jordan has ample time for unstructured building and science exploration. This protects his sense of competence, reminding him that while reading is a challenge he already has an expert in the mechanical thinking. The evidence-based intervention for cognitive and academic. The one new concept for small groups. The goal within 1 month, when presented with a new science or grade level topic, Jordan will identify and explain one key concept or vocabulary word during a small group session 4 out of 5 opportunities. The strategy is Jordan will be allowed to use visual aids or physical models like building to demonstrate his understanding before being asked to produce a written response. This bridges his mechanical strengths with his academic outputs. The reading fluency, the 10% growth target. Within 3 months, Jordan will increase his oral reading fluency, words correct per minute, by 10% from his current baseline, as measured by the monthly cold reading assessments. The strategy is to reduce anxiety. Jordan will practice repeated words and passages related to his interests, science or building, before being timed. Written expressions, the scaffolding. The goal is within 2 months, when given a written prompt, Jordan will generate 3 connected ideas using a graphic organizer or a speech-to-text technology, rather than struggling with the manual acts of handwriting. The strategy is that the graphic organizing, Jordan can build his essay like he builds blocks, piece by piece, which reduces the blank page frustration. The family input. To ensure consistency across learning environments, Jordan's parents will actively collaborate with the educational team to reinforce classroom goals at home. This partnership will focus on reducing academic anxiety and building fluency through high interest engagement. Home-based strategies and support. The concept is the parents will engage Jordan in low-stakes reviews of the one new thing learned in class each day, allowing Jordan to take the lead in explaining the concept to build his confidence. Fluency through gamification. To target his 1% monthly growth goal, Jordan will utilize supplemental multisensory online literacy tools like reading through iReady that focus on phonics and words and autonomy in a game-based format. Tactical learning extensions. Given Jordan's strengths in science and building, parents will provide opportunities for hands-on extension projects that minor school topics, helping him associate learning with success and enjoyment. The emotional connection. Parents will provide a safe-to-fail environment at home, practicing positive self-talk and using feeling thermometer to help Jordan navigate homework-related frustrations. Section 4, accommodations and modifications. Accommodations, small group. Jordan requires a reduced student to teacher ratio to facilitate targeted intervention and individualize his learning path. This setting allows for more frequent informal assessments and real time feedback on his specific literacy weaknesses. Furthermore, the small group environment serves as a low anxiety social tier, providing Jordan with a relatable peer group. This safe to fail setting helps him realize that academic challenges are shared, thereby reducing his feeling of isolation and increasing his willingness to participate. Multisensory, Jordan will utilize high frequency words, flashcards, and phonics based visual aids within a small group setting, 3 to 5 students. This approach allows for immediate corrective feedback and peer modeling, which are essential for his 10% monthly fluency growth target. Key benefits for Jordan's IEP: his visual auditory map, pairing the printed words visually with the practice of the sound auditory, strengthens the neural pathways needed for reading fluency, reduces cognitive load. In a small group, the teacher can limit the number of cards to focus on his one new thing per day, preventing the restlessness caused by being overwhelmed. Peer-to-peer encouragement, practicing with small groups of peers who are also working on similar goals helps Jordan feel socially safe, reducing his fear of not knowing and encouraging him to participate at least 3 times per session. The multi-model response, Jordan will be permitted to use alternative methods to demonstrate conceptual understanding, such as creating a 3D model, drawing a labeled diagram, and providing a verbal explanation, particularly in science and social studies. The benefit, this protects his science grade and his confidence. If he can build a bridge to show his understanding, the tension and the compression, he shouldn't be graded lower just because he can't write 5-sentence essays about it yet. The loading vocabulary. Jordan's anxiety often comes from being put on the spot with words he can't read yet. The benefit, this allows you to practice these flashcards at home. When the teacher says the word photosynthesis the next day, Jordan already knows it. This directly supports your goal for him in participating 3 times a week. Section 5 is future planning. Future planning progress check-ins. The purpose, the schedule, and as needed check-ins are a necessary accommodation to support Jordan's emotional regulations and self-advocacy. Given his tendencies to withdraw or become restless when faced with literacy-based frustrations, these brief touch points allow the educator to gauge his feeling thermometer level in real time. By identifying barriers early, the teacher can provide the necessary scaffolding or a brief tactical break, preventing task avoidance and ensuring Jordan remains in a state of readiness to learn throughout the school day. Check-ins are essential to foster Jordan's academic confidence and meet his goals to participate 3 times daily. Frequency, to ensure the efficacy of Jordan's academic and social and emotional interventions, the educational team will conduct comprehensive quarterly progress monitoring. These scheduled reviews are essential to evaluate his 10% monthly frequency and to make data-informed adjustments to his instructional plan. This consistent oversight ensures that Jordan remains successfully engaged in the curriculum and his social-emotional milestones are being met. Team, to ensure a holistic and data-driven review of Jordan's progress, it is essential that all key stakeholders who interact with him across different school environments are present. Meaningful parent participation is a priority for this meeting to align home-school strategies for Jordan's continued success. Required personnel for the quarterly review: general education's teachers to the main class to report to Jordan's engagement, participation levels, and visual frustrations within a large group setting. The special educations of the small group instructor to provide specific data on Jordan's 10% monthly fluency growth and his mastery on the one new thing daily concept within a reduced ratio environment. The school's guidance counselor to provide insight into Jordan's social emotional development, his progress with peer mediations, interactions at recess, and effectiveness of his feelings, thermometer, and self regulation goals. The parents to share home based observations of Jordan's confidence and to ensure parent engagement plans and synchronize with the school based interventions. Data review. Academically, because your goal is steadily improving, for the school should provide a cold read data for work samples. Fluency data, like a graph showing his words correct per minute. You are looking for a 10% month over increase. The one new thing log, a folder or a digital portfolio for the core concepts of Jordan's master in science and social studies, using alternate response like building and diagrams that he drew. Flashcard mastery, a list of mastered versus targeted high frequency words. Socially, since one of the goals is to reduce ostracization, the teachers and the counselors should provide observations on his interactions. Observation notes, specific instances where Jordan engages in his peer buddy or participations in small groups. Participation tallies, a simple tracker showing if Jordan meets his 3 active participations per day, even if the answers were wrong. During recess, feedback from the counselor or aide on whether Jordan's transition into independent play to collaborative play. Emotionally, this proves that Jordan is learning to handle frustration rather than shutting down. The feeling thermometer usage, how many times did Jordan independently use his thermometer to signal he was being frustrated? Coping strategy success, evidence of Jordan taking a building break or then successfully returning to the task to finish it. His self-advocacy milestones, note on whether Jordan is starting to ask for help on the I'm stuck words instead of becoming restless. The outcome. The statement of intent is to maintain the trajectory of Jordan's steadiness, to improve, and the IEP team will convene quarterly to conduct tri-level data reviews. The 3 pillars for quarterly review: the retrospective, the wins, reviewing data to identify specific areas of 10% growth in fluency and successfully social interactions. The current status, assessing exactly what Jordan is learning now and what he will be learning in the future. Perspective, identifying remaining obstacles in reading and writing and peer-to-peer engagement. The goal, tweaking. The team acknowledges that Jordan's confidence grows and his goals should evolve as well. Updating benchmarks. If Jordan exceeds the 10% fluency goal, the target may adjust to maintain momentum. We live in a world where numerous external factors influence an individual's mood, mindset, and overall outlook. Children are not exempt from these influences. While a child may have a stable home life, external pressures such as neighborhood bullying can have a profound impact. Speaking from experience, I navigate significant bullying in high school regarding my appearance and academic abilities. Despite having a supportive relationship with my parents, I chose not to disclose these struggles until adulthood, feeling that they could not intervene in the school environment. This highlights the necessity of a holistic approach for student welfare. We must acknowledge that students come from diverse socioeconomic backgrounds, varied neighborhoods, environments, and non-traditional family structures. Whether they are raised by same-sex parents, grandparents, or within a foster care system, understanding these intersecting variables is essential for the educator to effectively support a child's social and behavioral development. These are my references for my presentation. Thank you.